Welcome to the Build Business Acumen podcast, where we deliver practical knowledge and powerful guidance. Here is your futuristic host, Nathaniel.
Today I'm joined by Nelly Shein to continue our series of audios about resilience. And today's interview, we are going to be discussing where to begin with understanding resilience. So what do you think, Nelly?
When it comes to understanding resilience and to adapt it into your life, it is not like you're buying some new clothes and have a new style. This takes a bit more, and you need to add a lot of new habits into your life. And some of them will be easy, others will be quite difficult. I mean, you can just take a simple thing like flossing your teeth, which is 4 minutes a day, and you're awake maybe 18. So those 4 minutes for most people, according to the dentist, it's so difficult. They just manage to get about 40-50% of the people to use it. The rest cannot invest those 4 minutes. So that is just a simple habit. Resilience is a bit more than that. That is about being observing your own habits, the way you're being, and thinking, okay, is this what I want to be? Is this how I want to do things? Or where do I want to go from where I am now? So this is the big steps that we're talking about, in that way that there are serious things in life, and many of them we have a way of dealing with, but there are many things that we sort of push aside, but those things, they are popping up, especially when you don't want them at all. So the way to go here is to start with one habit, introduce that into your life, and have that for a week before, or 2 weeks. There is no set time here. For one person, it might be 1 week, for another person, 1 month, but everything comes down to how much you practice. If you don't practice anything, well, then it will take months. So with this, take one thing at a time and be patient with yourself as well.
So really, it's a sort of awareness, first of all, to understand that you perhaps have a problem, a challenge I mean, at the end of the day, the way I look at it is that if your emotions are driving your behavior and you can't kind of control your emotions, then clearly you've got a problem, right? You've got a challenge. And that is probably the time when you need to begin understanding about resilience, right? Would that be a good place to start?
Yes, I think that is a good way of starting. So many people, they actually never even reach that stage to be aware and to be accepting, okay, this is actually who I am. This is actually what I am doing in situations like this. And most people don't get there, but when you get there and you can start to think, no, this is not what I want to do. This is not how I want to end up. And that can be relationships, work, etc., that has a tendency to end in the same way, time over time, especially with relationships. And many people are just thinking then, oh, if I only meet the right bloke, it's just that stupid guy over there. Or if I could just have the right woman, then everything would be fine. Thing is that right woman and that right guy does not turn up until you have actually changed within, because it is actually you thriving that behavior that is actually causing that relationship to end, whether it's you actively doing it or the other person, but you have pushed it that far. And you know what Viktor Frankl says, that if you have put the situation as far as you can and you can't push it any further, well, what can you do? You have to challenge yourself and change.
Yeah. It's quite incredible though. I mean, we can be very unkind to ourselves and also to other people, right? So embracing empathy, and first of all, I think empathy towards ourselves and being kind to ourselves is, for me, it's actually the place to really begin in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely. And I do agree with you. For many people, though, that is quite hard because they have really never been kind to themselves. So sometimes it can be easier to actually start off and practice on somebody that is close to you. And when you can see the change in that person, you know that you have actually changed simultaneously. Even though you didn't really do the work on yourself, you were doing it outwardly towards somebody else.
Interesting. Interesting. So it's quite difficult to probably understand that we're being unkind to ourselves in many ways.
There are so many ways that people are punishing themselves. And I mean, to drink a lot of alcohol, to smoke is, suicide by installments. You having a lot of other behavior, choosing the wrong partner again, maybe that is abusive. Uh, all of those behaviors that we have, that is a way of being unkind to ourselves. And really, sometimes we put another person in that place to be unkind to us. But it's us that are actually running this ship. We are the captain, whether we like it or not, or even if we invite somebody else to be the captain on our ship, we are still the captain. And by the way, that is only if you choose not to be in charge of your life that somebody else can come in and be in charge of your life and running your life, because you have silently accepted that. And that is so many ways. But of course, there are also the ways when we are unkind to ourselves, eating too much, not exercising, and things like that, not sleeping. All of that is really hurting our bodies, both on short term and long term.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so really we need to also go back to our motivations and drivers and understand what makes us feel fulfilled, right? And then we can pursue our goals, right, with vigor and purpose,
Yes, you know what they say, when you find the right thing, just do more of it and less of other things that is hurting you. Uh, and it's here that comes in so essential, that actually have a journal, have a notebook, because you will see it through your own letters, your own words would be the evidence of that you have actually changed, that you have developed. Because if you go back 1 month, 3 months, a year, you will read some of the things that you wrote and you will think, how could I have written this? Was it me back then? So you are developing if you are also patient, but also really stick to things that you decide to do, because there is no worse enemy than the person who is constantly changing their mind. They will be standing on the same square the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely with that. So really some of the sort of tools that we're sort of talking about, like breathing, exercising, taking your mind off of things, you know, but
Go out with
sometimes,
the rest and yeah.
pardon?
Yeah, you go out in the forest, walk on the beach, go
Yeah.
up the
Yeah,
mountain.
but
Nature is
the thing is
fantastic
that when
stuff.
you are deeply traumatized by whatever is basically happening to you, um, you might not be able to do much of those things. You might prefer to have a nap or talk to someone because actually the pressure is too much for you, right? So I think that's when talking to someone like yourself, an experienced person who potentially can help you by putting your life into perspective, putting the situation that you're in perspective, that can really help, right? Because if you can't get your mind off of the problem, the challenge that you're trying to overcome, you must talk to someone. What do you think about all of that?
Oh, yes. I say that the longer you have been in your stage, in your bubble, the more necessary it's likely is that you are talking to somebody. And don't be afraid to reach out. You have Lifeline. There are many places and people that you can contact that actually don't charge either. And if that is a problem for you, but do not stay by yourself, because your mind is your worst enemy at this stage. And your mind can be your best friend, but again, it needs to be directed. And if you are not capable at a certain point in time in your life to direct that, you need to seek help.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Nelly. I've thoroughly enjoyed discussing things with you, especially this topic. It's a a big topic, I think, to understand. And if people want to read the book, that would be wonderful, and listen to the other audios. But this should just give you a general overview, really, I think, of where to begin. So thanks very much, and thanks to everyone for listening. And please reach out to Nelly or myself if you need any more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nathaniel.
Thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe, and wherever you prefer, share with your friends. And if you enjoyed the show, drop us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen.